He wasn't supposed to survive. Not the fame, not the music industry, and definitely not the secrets buried behind it. For years, people thought Vanilla Ice was just another one-hit wonder, a flashy white rapper who got lucky with a single song, then vanished like so many others. But the truth, the real story behind his disappearance, is far more dangerous, because Vanilla Ice didn't fade away. He escaped. Escaped from the same industry machine that's been accused of chewing up artists and spitting them out broken. While some stars paid the ultimate price through scandal, silence, or worse, Vanilla Ice saw the trap coming and walked away before it crushed him. But it wasn't easy. Behind the scenes, he faced humiliation, threats, even life or death situations that would leave scars forever. So how did a breakdancer from Dallas outsmart the most powerful figures in music? And what really happens to the artists who refuse to play the industry's darkest games? This is the story they never wanted you to hear. Long before the world knew him as Vanilla Ice, he was just Robert Van Winkle. A kid from Dallas, no famous family, no industry connections, no golden ticket, just raw talent, and an obsession with breakdancing and hip-hop. While other kids were hanging out at the mall, Ice was performing in it, spinning on his head, beatboxing, and battling anyone who dared step into his circle. He wasn't supposed to be there. Hip-hop in the late 80s was dominated by New York and LA legends. Nobody was waiting for a white kid from Texas to break through, but that's exactly what he did. By 19, Vanilla Ice had gone from street performances to club stages, and then to the studio. In 1990, he dropped to the extreme, and everything changed. 15 million copies sold. Ice Ice Baby wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural explosion. The first rap song to ever hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. TV shows, movies, sold-out tours, even Hollywood stars like Madonna were chasing him, literally proposing to him at the peak of his fame. It felt like a dream. But what Ice didn't know was that some dreams are designed to trap you. Because when the money flows fast, the sharks swim even faster. And behind the bright lights, they were already watching him, already planning their next move. Success in the music world comes at a price, and for Vanilla Ice, that price wasn't just about contracts or royalties, but it was about control. Because behind the scenes, behind every record deal and flashy performance, there's a darker game being played. And Vanilla Ice found himself right in the middle of it. Powerful industry executives, the kind that shape careers overnight, had already set their sights on him. Figures like Charles Koppelman, connected to music moguls like Clive Davis, the same names whispered in stories about Diddy and the mysterious rituals of the music elite. Allegedly, Vanilla Ice was approached, invited to certain parties, the kind of parties that aren't about music at all, where fame isn't given, it's bought, where loyalty isn't earned, it's tested. Rumors have swirled for years about what really happens behind closed doors in the industry. Rituals, hazing, submission, a system designed to break you down before building you back up as their product. Vanilla Ice saw it, and unlike so many others, he refused. No secret ceremonies, no contracts soaked in fear, no selling his soul for another hit record. But saying no in that world, that doesn't make you free. It makes you a target. And what came next would almost destroy him. Turning down the industry's offer didn't make Vanilla Ice a hero. It made him vulnerable. Almost overnight, the tide shifted. The media turned against him. Headlines mocked him. Interviews ambushed him. Fans who once screamed his name now questioned everything about him. The attacks weren't just about his music anymore. They went after him. Accusations of lying about his past spread like wildfire. Critics claimed he wasn't from Miami, that his street stories were fake, that he was nothing more than a corporate invention, a puppet with a microphone. Arsenio Hall famously humiliated him on national television. The press painted him as a fraud. The hip-hop community questioned his place in the culture. And behind the headlines, the streets got even more dangerous. The most infamous moment? Suge Knight. According to legend, Suge, already building a fearsome reputation, confronted Vanilla Ice at a Beverly Hills hotel. The story goes that Suge dangled him over a balcony, demanding royalties from Ice Ice Baby. Vanilla Ice later downplayed parts of the story, but confirmed the threat was real. So it wasn't just business work, it was intimidation. It was a warning. And it sent a message loud and clear. In this industry, if you won't play the game, you'll pay another way. But this was only the beginning, because what the public didn't see was how close Vanilla Ice came to losing everything. On the surface, Vanilla Ice still looked like a star. The cars, the money, the fame, but behind closed doors, he was falling apart. Because fame wasn't freedom, it was a cage. In interviews years later, Ice admitted he didn't even know who he was anymore. He had hundreds of millions in the bank, but nothing inside. No peace, no purpose, no identity. He said it himself. All my dreams that I thought were dreams turned out to be nightmares. It wasn't just emotional, it got physical. In one terrifying incident, Vanilla Ice was stabbed 5 times, nearly bleeding out after an altercation that wasn't even his fight. He lost half the blood in his body. Doctors told him it was a miracle he survived. But sometimes surviving doesn't mean living. The music industry had chewed him up and spit him out. The media hated him. The streets were dangerous, the industry higher-ups were watching, and inside his own mind, the darkest thoughts began to grow. He admitted there were moments he didn't want to live anymore, not because of money, but because of what he lost chasing it. His soul, his identity, his purpose. This wasn't the dream anymore. This was survival. And Vanilla Ice knew if he didn't leave soon. He might not leave at all. Most artists in his position would have clung to the spotlight, fought for relevance, chased another hit, signed another deal, but Vanilla Ice didn't. He walked away. Not because he was weak, but because he was one of the few smart enough to realize the game was rigged. He left the music industry at a time when most stars were desperate to stay in it. And while other artists spiraled deeper into scandals, lawsuits, or worse, Vanilla Ice quietly built a new life. Real estate. While nobody was paying attention, he started buying and renovating houses in Florida, turning the money he had left into a business empire. Years before house flipping became trendy, Vanilla Ice was already doing it, and doing it well. He studied design, got a degree, became a licensed general contractor, and eventually launched his own hit TV show, The Vanilla Ice Project, which ran for 13 seasons with over 180 episodes. No scandals, no industry strings attached, just hard work, smart investments, and total independence. While other music moguls from his era faced prison sentences or financial ruin, Vanilla Ice built generational wealth. He became the architect of his own life, on his own terms, without selling his soul. Look around at the music industry today. Many of the powerful figures who once ruled the charts are either behind bars, buried in controversy, or completely erased from the culture. Suge Knight, in prison until at least 2034, Diddy, facing wave after wave of disturbing allegations, Clive Davis's circle, forever tied to industry rumors that never fully go away, but Vanilla Ice, he's still standing. Not as a forgotten one-hit wonder, but as one of the rare artists who saw the trap and escaped before it was too late. He didn't sell out. He didn't lose himself chasing artificial fame. Instead, he found real success. The kind built outside the system that tried to control him. Real estate, family, peace, and in a world where so many stars fall victim to their own fame. Vanilla Ice might just be the biggest winner of all. So now that you know the truth, ask yourself this. How many artists never got the chance to walk away? How many stars were silenced before their story could ever be told? Vanilla Ice didn't just survive fame, he survived them. The ones behind the curtain, the ones pulling the strings, the ones who decide who rises and who disappears. But here's the real question. Was Vanilla Ice lucky, or was he one of the only ones brave enough to see the system for what it really is and leave before it destroyed him? Let me know what you think in the comments, because if this story taught us anything, it's that not every artist who disappears is forgotten. Some of them are just smart enough to escape.